Honda CRV professional dash cam installation. We're going to show you how we run the rear camera cables into the hatch, how we run the cable from the rear of the vehicle to the front, what fuses we hook up to for the dash camera to get power, how to take off the A-pillar, and how to run the wiring safely by the airbags. Let's go.
Working on a 2024 Honda CRV. What we're going to end up doing is we're going to do a Vroid D21 4K. Alright. What we're going to start off doing is taking off the plastic and then routing it through the rubber grommet. I'm just taking a feel here. This one is quite filled. This one is definitely not as full. So we'll probably go down this side. I'm going to reposition the camera, give you a better angle. Okay, working in again. We're going to use a metal pry tool. This is called a skin wedge or 4140. I'm sticking it in between the crack of the panel. Let's give it a quick tug here. You want to wiggle the panel up and down so it will release itself. Because taking a look at the clips here, if you notice, there is a little slit, and then the way it works is it's compression style. So when you wiggle it up and down, you could usually get them to pop open without breaking anything. When it comes to the rubber grommets, these ones I know are just solid rubber. So a little bit of force to pull that one out. Same with this as well. As you can see, a few wires in here, not many though. Just gonna slowly work my fish tool through. Slowly work it through. If it gets hung up, just massage the rubber and it usually comes out pretty easily. Okay, so the rod's well on through. I have a loop on the other end here. It makes pulling wire through a lot easier. With Vroid, it does use an angled end and a straight end. The angled end always goes towards the front of the vehicle. Okay, cable through the loop. I like to pull at least the distance of this rubber boot, so then that way it will just fold on itself through the rubber, and then I can always backtrack if I need to, if it ever gets stuck or hung up to the point where I just can't get it out the other end. So slowly work it through. There we go. We got the out. Just make sure you're grabbing the right end here. Sometimes it helps if you're using lubrication of some sorts, whether it be soapy water or silicone spray. Usually, majority of the time, I do dry pull. If the rubber grommet is not too tight, this one is pretty open for the most part. Some cars, especially European, quite difficult to do without lubrication. Okay, there we go. So the end is through. So word of advice, taking a look at the unit itself, or sorry, the glass. It's kind of hard to tell, but there is, you can see the outline of the wiper pattern ever so slightly. So there's moisture and then the glass is clean. You want to make sure that you're mounting the camera within that wiper area. Okay, so now that we got the cable through the rubber boot, you want to make sure that you're putting the rubber boots back properly. Slowly work it in back into its place. It always helps to just push in the middle just to make sure all the rounded edges are caught in the body. From here, we have to route the cable through. In order to do so, this has a plastic panel underneath. Best way to do it is just put your hands in behind and grip it. Slowly pull down. You'll hear it unclip. There we go. There we go. So, a couple clips on this panel there. You can see the wiring that goes through the body into this right here. There's a clear open shot. You can see the headrest. So we just want to route the cable through onto the inside of the vehicle. Take your time with this. You don't want to accidentally cut your cable on the metal. And then you can put this rubber one back. We're just taking this cable, tucking it in to the plastic. From here, this is the rubber door seal. You want to gently take this off and not bend it because there is metal in them. So you want to slowly get a corner. And just, there we go. From here, the cable can go around, and then we want to put it above the airbag. So it's a little hard to see, but you can definitely reach in there with your hands. And then we're going to work up to the B pillar, up to the A pillar. So now that we're at the driver's seat, this is the driver door. Same deal. We're going to work the rubber seal off. Okay. Cable tucked behind, up high above the airbag. So to remove this A pillar, put your fingers behind the panel with the rubber seal down, pull outwards. Okay, from here, this is the trick. You notice that this corner is going to rub against this headliner. If you're not careful, you'll tear it. So if you're pulling it off to the side, put your thumb over it and then pull out and upwards. That will allow this to disengage from the panel itself. You want to disconnect the speaker as well. So there's a speaker cable down there. Push on the plastic tab, you can release it. Here's the panel. This is where the clip slides into. It's a little dark to see. We'll give you a close-up with a picture. The clip that's left behind inside the vehicle, you just press the two release tabs on top and it'll come right out. All right, now that the A pillar is off, we have the cables routed behind the airbag. So it's on the back side. Two connections at the camera, they're both angled. One is power, one is video. We're gonna plug it into the unit. Okay, so we know that the unit gets mounted like this on the window. You can situate the cables however you like. I like to put the rear video cable on top. That does block it from getting removed easily. From here, we'll just test the tape using 1/4 inch. To remove the housing here, you want to take a panel tool, stick it in between the plastic, pry downwards. Alright, that should give you plenty of access to run the wires across. So keep in mind, this unit slides towards the driver's side, so you want to make sure you have a little bit of space in order for the unit to slide off, okay? To close this off, let's push back up, and that's that, all sealed up. So we're going to put the panel back. Make sure you plug back in your speaker. So I've already taken out the clip along the body. It's kind of hard to tell, but you'll see that there's a leg sticking out right here, and there's one right there. You wanted to press both of these in order for it to come out of the body of that hole right there. Line it up. Clips back in. Fix the rubber. And we can move on to the hardwiring portion. Remove this panel by just putting your hand behind here and just pulling. It requires a little bit of force. It will slowly unclip. There we go. So you can see the panel comes out. All right, revisiting the underside of the dash. I've already added in the fuse taps there. Fuse 12, fuse 17. This one is power. I left the little bit of tape off it just so I know which one was which. Always make sure that there's extra slack so it won't be pulled out accidentally with too much tension. We'll zip tie this one right here so it's stable. Make sure that they're pushed into place, and then we'll tag a ground back there at the factory ground bolt. Okay, so I've made the ground connection back there. As you can see, it's using factory bolts. Fuses are zip tied up in place. Technically, those fuses don't even have to be there because we're using the fuse taps itself with 2-amp fuses. But instead of chopping them off, I just left them in place. Gets double protection, if you will. And then from here, we'll zip tie this bundle of wire up into the dash, and then we'll power it on. Okay, so putting the panels back, just make sure you get all your clips lined up. There's 2 connectors, we plug them back in. The panel just clips back on. Take your time here. Fix the rubber. And that's that. Then we'll mount the rear camera, clean off the area with alcohol wipes. Panel back on. And that's that. Rear camera mounted.
Unfortunately, the video portion of us mounting the front camera was corrupted, but as you can see, the front camera is mounted right off to the right-hand side of the housing and behind the rear view mirror, and we leave just a couple inches away from the housing. That way, if the dash camera ever needs to be slid out of the housing, you can slide it off and take it off the windshield. If you do have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you are looking to support us, we offer professional dash camera installation in Greater Vancouver or Greater Toronto areas. We also sell dash cameras into the United States and Canada. Check us out, safedrivesolutions.com. Thanks again.